Welcome, my beautiful souls. Today we are going to do past life reading. Um, it's interesting because I just did one probably within the month, and I normally will wait like a couple months between past life readings. However, I just did a twin flame reading, and it was definitely speaking of past lives. So I definitely feel like I'm meant to. It feels like the follow up to the twin flame reading. Now, this doesn't have to be a twin flame. If it relates to love at all, it could certainly be soulmate. But again, something triggered my um, mind to do another past life reading. So we're going to do it. Um, so, really, what I'm looking for in this reading, just anything in a past life that could be. mm, Maybe even the secret to maybe why you're not manifesting something in this lifetime. So I feel like there's opportunity to manifest, but there may be something coming in between. So there could be something was just left undone, left unsaid. So we are going to look at again your past life, but then moving into your current life. So how is my past life affecting me both in a positive way, but maybe also in a negative way? And are there any portals or doors that I can close that maybe I haven't? Or is there any I can open? So I'm not going to put any, um, what's the word? I'm just going to let the reading be whatever it wants to be. And I'm just going to read it intuitively through a spiritual team. So we're going to travel back and then we're going to come back to the present. And it will talk somewhat about the future, I'm sure. So I am going to use the the major tarot for the major arcanas for just a little bit of extra information. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify, go deeper. Of course, we will get Mother Mary's beautiful words of wisdom. We will use the past life tarot for our past life, and we will use the psychic tarot for present and future. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab a drink of coffee. I'm going to bring the lid down. All right, so we are going to start with Mother Mary. Mother Mary. This is for all signs. And by the way I read, I feel like it's an energy exchange. So you should feel it. You know what I mean? Like you should feel it. Something like you get angel bumps or, you just feel it. You know what you know. You know what I mean? And you may not know what I mean, but you know what you know, what you know. And I feel like that is like our higher wisdom. All right. Again, I'm leaving it open to our spiritual team to bring us whatever messages and stories. I feel like our readings are more like stories, which is the way I like it. Um, so we shall see. All right. Well, hello, marriage. Wow, marriage. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. Interesting. Inner child. I nurture the child within me through playfulness and self care. Marriage and inner child. Interesting. I don't know why, but I feel at this moment this marriage is potentially talking about a past, like a past commitment. Um, and then I'm feeling like the inner child, I'm feeling like some sadness within that. I'm feeling some. potential heartache. Um, you may not even know why, though. Hmm. It's almost like I feel some of you may, maybe even on a subconscious level, like searching for someone or something. Feels like someone um, that you probably were connected to before. And marriage makes me feel like it's something that did go into a full commitment. I feel happiness around that energy, but it's interesting because in the inner child, I feel sadness. So that's why I feel almost like these are different lifetimes, different portals. Okay, so marriage and inner child. Did I read that? I nurture the child within me through playfulness and self care. Maybe I gotta stop taking things so serious. I don't know. I feel that for someone like maybe I'm taking things so serious. When I think of the inner child, I also think of unencumbered. It's the way it's meant to be anyway. Um, I feel like a lot of times that's where our intuition lies also. All right, so we'll put those over there. Um, each layer will be a part of the reading. All right, so let's go ahead and bring out the major arcanas. By the way, I will connect the twin flame reading at the end, as one of the end screens. I'll probably even put the last past life one I did, which was really awesome, if I say so myself. But it really was. This is one of my favorite readings to do. All right. Okay. Well, I think we shall take them and beautiful. The Empress, the mother figure. Look at that. The Emperor and the Empress side by side. Wow. First of all, they are my power couple. It's interesting how the Emperor is looking at the Empress, and the Empress is looking at me. It's like he's looking back at her. Wow. Um, and it feels like interesting because I feel potentially that this Emperor and Empress were probably married in a past life. But I get this feeling like the Empress is the one who, in a sense, calls the shots. I feel like the Emperor feels happy to take a back seat to what it is the Empress is doing in the world. Like he knows that she has the wisdom. Interesting. Some of you, I feel like there could be someone who may be admiring you from afar. From afar. I say from afar. I mean, it could be in your same town, but it could be like on one of your social media platforms, because he's definitely taking notice of the Empress. Now, that means that he notices the creativity within her. He notices the power within her. And if we remember, the Empress is about a loving and nurturing heart, but she learned how to be that way. And both of them are people who have had, I feel, many different experiences. And I do feel like their experiences are what has led them to being the Empress and the Emperor. I mean, we have the male, we have the female. No wonder, sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable in my chair. No wonder I felt that high within the twin flame. All right, let's see what else we have. The Hermit. We're in the year of the Hermit, by the way. We're in a universal year 9. Wisdom. Wise old souls. That makes sense. And then, hello, world. I feel like something's coming back around. Let me tell you, though, the world to me signifies your spirituality. And I love the hermit actually illuminating, like it's like illuminating this next portal. But it's, the hermit is someone who, like many of us, have had situations that could have brought us down to our knees and, kind of felt stuck there for a while. I do feel like the hermit is, when I'm in that energy, really solitude, I am seeking light, right? I'm seeking the light. Um, I'm seeking spiritual wisdom. And one of the things I feel the hermit learns in this period is that I am my own light. In other words, I am my own savior. I can, you know, save myself. Um, but man, I feel like this is very high vibrational energy already. The Empress is sitting there with this beautiful bounty on her lap. She's mirroring the world. Feels like the Empress is just like, if you ask me or if you want me to, I will follow. Literally, I feel like the Emperor is letting the Empress again take the lead. Now, do they even know that each other exist in this lifetime? This could be something that they're finding out. Again, I feel like the Emperor does, but does the Empress. She's very creative. She's been busy creating her bounty and her wisdom, and then using it just as we were meant to, as our guiding light. Okay, wow. Um, I think that's kind of beautiful. I feel like both these people are wise old souls, whether they know that or knew that, maybe not. But I feel like throughout their lifetime, how they got through different situations, and I mean, on their own, singular, um, is pulling on this wisdom. It's almost like I didn't even realize I had this strength until I needed to use it. I didn't even know that my intuition was this strong until I had to use it. All right, let me grab one more drink. I can already tell it's going to be an interesting reading. And it truly is one of my favorite readings to do. All right, so let's look. The Hermit's Lantern, which is really the Hermit's light. I feel like the Hermit, when I go through this energy of the dark night of the soul, when I come out the other end, I feel like this is natural healing abilities. Maybe I didn't know I had that. Maybe Doctor Heal Thyself first. Because I do feel that these two are single. Now, I mean, they could be with other people, but they're not together. And interesting how we're getting the mother and the father figure side by side. All right, I'm going to slide these over just a little bit. We have imprisonment or slavery. We have the mother. We have wars and battles. Food and hunger. Well, it seems to have been a tough lifetime. We have orphan. Interesting. High priest or high priestess. I feel like that's both of them, but it is coming right under mother. And then we have phobias. So I do want to feel the block out. Well, thank you. I feel like we get this all the time when we do past life readings, but I feel like this is what a lot of you, this is your psychic ability. Um, Truly your intuition. This is definitely receiving downloads, trusting in them. I feel like someone's been journaling. It's almost like I feel like maybe this is just an example, but I feel like I'm writing a story and maybe it's not based on facts, it's just a story. But in a way, I feel like the story I'm writing is a past lifetime. I don't feel like I go in it knowing that. I feel like some of the gifts that you possess in this lifetime, you definitely used in the last lifetime. It's interesting because I do feel like the Emperor and the Empress, I do feel like they were connected and I do feel like they were married. I think that's why Mother Mary brought married out. So I do feel like they had a true love commitment. It's interesting because I feel both of them are very psychic. Both are very intuitive. They may not speak about it. I feel like the Emperor is looking at this Empress as it's like I almost feel like he knows that she has certain gifts that I feel like she's really meant to use. And I feel like he knows that. And I feel like he admires her because of it. So I feel like whatever gift she has, which again, they're definitely psychic, but it's what she's doing with it. I feel like she's sharing, she's helping. I feel like I definitely feel like something happened. Interesting. I feel like it's interesting because I'm feeling like we were married, we were in love, there was no doubt about it. I don't feel like the emperor necessarily like took a back seat in a previous life because I feel like, you know, like he had to look like he was in charge, so to speak. But I feel the same admiration. Like I feel like that would travel in between lifetimes. I definitely feel like something did separate them though. And it's kind of interesting because I feel like both. Both may have, well, died, like, but very close together. It reminds me of like great love that you hear about, and one, and then they lose their partner, and then the other one is like usually crosses over within a few months. Kind of is that broken heart syndrome. I feel like situations outside of them is what, first of all, I feel like tore them apart. It has nothing to do with them because I don't feel like they wanted to be torn apart. But I feel like situational situations, does that make sense, did tear them apart. I definitely feel the energy of your higher self, but mainly from this lifetime, trying to reach you in this, or from last lifetime, reaching you in this lifetime. There seems to have been a lot of suffering, but yet at the same time, I also want to say definitely there was a lot of love, and that love of the highest. Again, they could be twin flames. I feel like this little girl down here who says orphan. Interesting. It's reminding me of the past life reading before the last one, where it was a little girl who had special gifts, and these gifts are what fed her. But I also felt that she was feeding another. Like, actually, it was she met like a little boy. They were on a ship, and both of them, you know, what they would call back then lower class. So I feel like the only way that this girl could really get this food, and I feel like she does, but not a lot, but she shares it. So it's interesting. I'm wondering if it's also tying back. And she was using her psychic gifts. And look at this, the high priestess right next to her also. Some of you, I feel this is saying that you possess certain gifts that maybe you're somewhat afraid of using in this lifetime. I feel like there was a sense of loss in a previous lifetime that maybe, I don't know, I feel like that someone had a hard time overcoming. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see him. Let me put you on hold one sec. Okay. Um, sorry. Once Sam leaves, he's got a heart condition. Um, I like to have the phone here. So, anyways, back to you. So, where was I going here? It's interesting because I feel like the emperor and the empress were definitely the mother and the father of this little girl. I feel like I feel like there was great love. Like, I don't want to overthink this because I feel it. Like, I feel like there was definitely great love. Um, I definitely feel that they both admired each other greatly. And I feel like they had a great relationship. But then I feel like something happened. Something happened that took their lives. It doesn't feel like together, but it feels like quickly. Like I feel like the emperor lost his life, and then it almost feels like a broken heart type energy um, with the empress. So I feel like it wasn't long after that. And I feel like what that did is made someone an orphan. And I feel like this little girl's life changed very quickly. Because I feel she definitely felt love. Interesting, because I feel also as this little girl, I just don't feel like there was a lot of help out there. So I don't feel like close family members came in and helped her. Um, I'm saying a little girl, but I'm kind of feeling like I'm a teenager. So I get this feeling I can take care of myself. Um, but yet, does someone step in? Hmm. Okay, so I get this feeling that this girl, she already lost her father, then she loses her mother. I definitely feel she's old enough to like remain where she's at, like remain in the home that she's at. Um, and then I feel like I almost had no choice but to bring out my gifts. So this feels to me like something that's generational. Like I feel that the mother and the father both had psychic abilities, which we all do, by the way. But I feel like they definitely listened to them. It's interesting because I feel like they were guided so much that they really did create abundance in this last lifetime. And I feel their daughter definitely had, some money she could live off of. But I do feel, and then it's like, and then someone came in and tried to change everything. I get the sense of like not wanting to be caught, not wanting to be found out. Almost like I didn't tell the world that my mother had crossed over. It was like kept hush hush, just between the girl and a few people. I feel like it was very hush hush because I don't feel like she wanted to leave where she was at. I feel like her mother had become her guiding light. I do feel the mother being very gentle, powerful, but I do feel the gentleness of her love, especially, well, I feel like for her husband, but also maybe just one child, because it does feel like, all of a sudden I'm completely by myself. What am I going to do? I'm old enough to potentially stay where I'm at, but I don't feel like I've worked. I have experience. But I feel like what it is her intuitive gifts. Like this is what mom did, this is what dad did. And now I feel like this is what I do to survive. I do feel like someone did step in and help her because I feel like right at that moment where it's almost like it was found out and it's like the higher ups like she's too young to be on her own, but it's not like anybody wants to take her in. Like, let me take you in, let me be the mother now. I don't feel that. I feel the opposite. But I do feel the mother's guidance from above. I feel it's very strong. It's almost like the mother is reminding the daughter that you do possess these gifts and use them to your benefit, um, truly to help feed yourself, take care of what needs to be taken care of. I feel like one of the things that moved forward is that fear of loss. I definitely feel like that moved forward. I feel like it can be cleared though. Like it feels energy that I can clear, maybe through talking about it, Reiki, whatever means. Listen closely to your spiritual guidance. Some of in this lifetime, you probably also have a mother or father, or both, who are helping to guide you. But I do feel like the father is kind of taking a back seat, but it's because he knows that his wife can, well, lead their child. In this lifetime, I have a feeling the empress and the emperor still exist in this lifetime. It's interesting. There may have been more than one child, but I feel like we're focusing more on the girl. It's almost like the son was already gone from the house. I feel like that's part of what her worry was, right? I lost my mom, I lost my dad, and now I'm worried I'm going to lose my brother. And again, I feel like whatever the brother is doing, probably in a war. I feel like I'm praying over his safety. But in the meantime, I'm still alone. It's interesting because all of a sudden I feel like this boy probably doesn't even know that the parents passed away. Um, I don't feel like he knows. I don't feel like he knows his sister is alone. I don't know there is much he could do about it right now, anyways, because I feel, again, where he's at, it's like he has no choice. Yeah, I could try to break free, but then I feel like, but then I'm committing a crime. But I do feel this girl's worry over her brother. But the strongest energy I'm feeling is the guidance of the mother. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Male, female. Well, we have both the mother and the father. All right. How am I going to do this? I think what I'm going to do, if I can pick these up, I'm going to move this up here. I'm going to take this just to make more room. I don't want to get rid of it. I'm going to put it right over here. And then we're going to slide these up. And we are now going to move into the current life. I'm going to use the psychic tarot, by the way. You know how I was saying that I felt some were journaling or like telling a story? It's interesting because I feel like by moonlight or by candlelight. So it's like I'm feeling like I do it at night, maybe even late at night. And I'm talking in this lifetime. I feel like there's something that inspires you that is happening at nighttime. You may have like a full-time job, but then your interest is getting piqued into a different type of, well, probably spirituality. You're probably learning and growing. And the more that you do learn, the more you do grow, the more you seek, I feel. So, in a way, again, I feel like, am I actually writing about a past life? I just don't know it. Because I feel like all the wisdom, all the gifts have followed you into this lifetime. Some of you, I feel like you're afraid to use them though. Could be a religious thing. Um, or it could be just a lack of trust. Trust like, can I really, am I really psychic? Can I really make, um, I hate to say predictions because I feel like free will makes it hard to make a prediction, but you can certainly talk about the potentials. Some of you in this lifetime, you may have found like you have this, like, what's like uncomfortable relationship relating to food. And, it's almost like maybe I overeat, but I feel the reason being is because there was such little in your previous life that in this lifetime, it reminds me somewhat of the Seven of Swords where I take more than I need. But I feel like this is tying back. This may help some of you that's going through that, like knowing that it was the lack of in a previous lifetime that makes you now seek more and more. All right, let's move into the current life. And I kind of love that the world is the last major arcana there because the world is the next chapter. So to me, it is reading now the next lifetime. And again, at least we know the Empress is still attached to that. So the wisdom of the Empress, the creativity of the Empress definitely is someone who takes these signs that we're all given, but she definitely puts them into action. She's in no rush, right? I think when I think of the Empress, I think of the mother again. And if I'm carrying a baby, even though I may want, like, pregnancy could be hard. I may want, like at 6 months is like, but yet we know as mothers that it's best for our child to carry the whole 9 months. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like the Empress she just instinctively knows when it's the right time to make a move, to bring something to the world. You didn't lose that creativity. You didn't lose that ability to really be in tuned. Now, it is a muscle, so the more you use it, like your intuition, you're trusting the signs, I feel the more, well, you're still receiving signs whether you trust them or not. But I feel like once I start to trust them, the more I see them and the more help they actually give me because I'm listening. All right, let's keep going. So we're going to move into the current lifetime. Hmm. Nine of Cups, inner harmony, fulfillment of wishes. It is a nine, could potentially mean single. Four of Cups, discontentment and boredom. This is within one's emotional life. This person looks like they have their back to the world. Some of you could have just lost, a mother or father not too long ago. Because this person really is focusing on the loss, but yet you can't see it in this image. There is a cup that comes in for this person, and I definitely feel like it's coming from the hand of divine. By the way, it's mirroring the mother, and the meaning is learn to use one's spiritual discernment. We have awareness. Beautiful. I feel like for a few of you, it's like I'm cracking open some chakras. Look at this. Intuition. And then, hello, Ace of Pentacles. I feel like for some of you, the journey of you being single, I may want something before it's time again. However, I feel like there is a need for you yourself to find this inner harmony first. Because remember, we have to be what it is that we're asking for, right? Like we can't be on a low vibration asking for a higher vibrational energy. But when and it doesn't mean I have to know everything. I definitely feel like the person in the Four of Cups does want a cup. I also feel like this is a choice here. I can turn my back to the world, or I can participate in the world. I feel like with awareness here, which is a magician, definitely your ability to manifest, but your intuition is right next to it. By the way, here's the Fool's first two mentors along any new journey. And because we see the Ace of Pentacles, we know something new is coming into your physical world. So the magician would teach the Fool that you really possess everything you need. You already have that wisdom, and the rest leave behind. And then the second mentor the Fool meets is actually the High Priestess, it's called. And she's there to teach the Fool that I am your GPS in this lifetime. Trust me. And she's really connected to spiritual energy. So I feel like what this is saying is some of you may have been alone for a little while, but I feel like in this period of time, it really was meant for you to find inner harmony within yourself. So to me, I feel like because the Four Cups is right next to that, I don't have to look at these cups, but the more I focus on what I've lost instead of what is yet to gain, because this is energy of what's coming in, and you have a big part of that. And I feel like that's why having this inner harmony, especially mirrored by the High Priestess, or here, definitely called your intuition. Some of you, I definitely feel you're bringing these abilities to life again. And the Ace of Pentacles is helping you do that. It's almost like the Ace of Pentacles, which means something is coming into your physical world. It makes sense it becoming under the Nine of Cups, because in the Nine of Cups, you would take this ace and you would grow it. In the Four of Cups, maybe not so much. And that's why I feel like it's almost like two different ways I can look at the world. Woe is me, even though we have every reason. Or knowing that time keeps on moving. Time keeps on moving. Clicking. What's on now? I can't think of it. Steve Miller. Um, Maybe something's not coming in soon enough. I definitely feel that mother of a past lifetime, whether she was your mother in this lifetime or not, she definitely had some type of role because I feel the wisdom of her guidance. So I feel like the best thing I can do, because I feel like in the Nine of Cups, this is really about one starting to love one's life again. Doesn't mean everything is fine. Doesn't mean I have all the money in the world. But what I do have is inner harmony. And some of you just being able to connect to your previous life, where, I do feel, well, let's put it this way. I feel the Emperor and the Empress are some, and I feel like the little girl are also some. But either way, it's definitely, whether it be this girl or the Emperor and the Empress, is definitely representing the type of love. And this girl knows that. It's like, I know that there is this type of love and harmony in the world. But maybe in this lifetime, I haven't found it yet. Do I still believe? Definitely feels like you're getting closer and closer. 3 cups. It's like you just said yes to that cup. This number one is the energy of joy. Here it says rejoice in celebration. And I love that it's mirroring mother, because again, I feel a mother, or at least a mother figure, who I would say, chances are, carried some type of psychic ability, or very intuitive, you know, like kind of mother where if you try to lie to her, she knows it, she would know it right away. But anyways, this is about, I love that it's following the Ace of Pentacles, because the Ace of Pentacles talks about coming into your physical world. It begins as a seed, so it does take my nurturing for it to really blossom. But I feel the more that I understand and even know that the guidance that's bringing this about is, you know, someone who had great love for me. Now, we don't always know, who the guide may be, because sometimes I feel ancestors, like they know you and you do know them. You just may not have met them in this lifetime, but their love for you is undeniable. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we have 11 on the board, which I often do relate to twin flames. I can't leave twin flames out of this because it's actually what inspired me to do this reading. We have the tower. It did show in reverse, so I feel like I want to leave it that way because I feel like it's the avoidance of a tower. And it's like your loved ones know this and they're trying to help you to avoid this tower. I feel like they're giving you another way, like they are intuitively, maybe subconsciously, these may even be dreams that you're having. It feels like they're helping to show you the way. to really your joy, so that you can have a good life. I feel like there is also a spirit guide who is really helping someone to avoid like these pitfalls. And maybe I hadn't always listened, so I kept finding myself like in this pitfall. But now I'm finding my way out of it. Again, it's higher wisdom. Oh, well, hello. Hello, spiritual union underneath intuition. So this is the soulmates, which if it's talking about love, then it would definitely be soulmates. I want to say soulmates, twin flames. I feel like I have to put both in. By the way, two twos, 22. Interesting. That is what my personal year is, Master 22, Master number 22. Um, and I'm only saying that because I have a feeling that some may have a Master number 11. Anyway, we have the Fool. So how beautiful that the Fool is coming right next to the Fool's greatest mentors. And it feels like what it's ushering in, well, it's love, but love of a high vibration. It's like the Emperor and the Empress reincarnated into this lifetime. That doesn't mean we got together right away, because again, each had to figure out, I feel like soulmates and twin flames, like, it's important that they go through their own lessons. Because I feel like that's the way we wanted it. You know what I mean? And then when we come together, remember we are the mirror of each other's soul. Which can certainly mean that we can help heal each other. But in a way, I feel like it's kind of like Dr. Heal Thyself first. Trust within your intuition. Here it comes through the Ace of Pentacles. What is mirroring that Ace of Pentacles? Spiritual union with the Fool. So a new beginning, but all the wisdom you need to be able to confidently take this leap of faith. Now, it is definitely relating to love. You know, I would say the Fool, because this is the Fool in this reading. I feel like what it's talking about, because the Fool doesn't carry the past experiences along with them, they just extract the wisdom. But I feel like some of you are connecting, like in a psychic way, um, probably to this person. Again, it could be subconsciously, it could be through your dreams, but I definitely feel this is being guided in your direction. What you gonna do? The tower's in reverse. So there's nothing here that would tell me that this isn't something to take a chance on. Quite the opposite. I feel like this is about taking that leap of faith, because you do have to take that leap of faith, right? It is you that needs to like take a step onto that path. But again, just the intuitive energy on the board, I feel like what this is really the message is learning to trust within that. Know that you are being guided. and you're being guided by those who truly love you and are unencumbered by Earth's, you know, factors, like emotions and that. No, they're beyond that now. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Suffering in silence. So the good news, it is on the bottom of the deck. Um, this is the Nine of Swords, and it does say suffering in silence. I do feel like there was a period of time of solitude. And maybe I had no intentions, maybe I was just sad, but I feel like someone is getting through to you on a spiritual level to help move you out of this. Because remember, this is unnecessary worry. We have the Ace of Wands. It's almost like you're being, interesting how I said I feel like your chakras are going to be activated in this reading. That's exactly what feels like is happening with the Ace of Wands, passion ignited. But then there's fear over that. But it's unnecessary fear. So I feel like that's where the Fool comes in. And I also want to say, because this is at the bottom of the deck, and what follows in the very first card on the table is another nine, but the Nine of Cups really does speak about inner fulfillment. And I feel like the inner fulfillment is what really helps to bring about, well, it feels like blessings, but also well earned. Some of you could definitely be missing someone um, that has crossed over, but I feel like in the same breath, they don't want you to, they don't want you not to live your life. I was going to say not to miss them, but that would be impossible. But I feel like I have to, my lifetime is not over. There's things that you have yet to accomplish that it feels like now is the ability to bring some of those about. I want to say definitely if someone's been journaling or writing, especially if you've been like writing a book and again, it's just, you using your mind and your imagination. I have a feeling that you're writing about a past life, but I don't feel like you're doing it like on purpose. Some of you could be. I know I have very intuitive people here. I know that. I know I feel like everyone carries psychic abilities. It's just activating that part of our brain, so to speak. But anyways, Ace of Pentacles brings in this soulmate energy. The Tower is in reverse, so there's really nothing to fear here. Um, I'm looking at phobias and I'm thinking, is part of the phobias love? But I feel like if so, then it's due to loss. And maybe this loss is something that hasn't been quite cleared yet. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. I feel like in your past lifetime, there were a lot of limits placed upon people. What you can do, what you can't do, what is right, what is wrong. But I feel like a lot of that is coming from, let's just say, higher ups. The way they think everything should be. But I feel like I just don't fit in. I don't fit into that. Like, you can't put me in one category. I may play along because really, what other choice do I have? But I still feel, again, someone doing something at night. And I feel like it's the same thing. that you used to do in a previous life. All right. We have the Nine of Wands. That's reflection. I call this person my spirit warrior because this is looking back. But this is looking back. You have three nines so far. Actually, the Hermit, where to go, is also a nine. Um, so it's really different types of reflection. This is about looking back with a sense of proudness. Everyone behind this person, I feel like, is an experience that I have either overcome, I have learned from. It's not holding me back any longer. This is meant to make you feel proud about yourself. Like, look at the things I've overcome. Maybe I thought I couldn't. Maybe some of you are in that energy where you feel stuck right now. You feel like, I don't know if I can overcome. Well, your higher self would be like, but you can. Like, remember the wisdom. This wisdom follows you. By the way, that Nine of Wands is mirrored down here by the Ace of Pentacles. Look at this. The Knight of Cups. Unexpected cup of love. Unexpected cup of fulfillment. Right over the Mother. Man, do I feel like some of you have a beautiful mother or mother figure. Well, helping to guide love. This is fulfillment. Doesn't have to be love. But because we do have the soulmates ultimately down here, and this Knight of Cups is coming in a past life, but it's coming over the mother. I definitely feel, again, it's someone helping to guide, um, what feels like true love into your life. And again, I feel the importance of these nines, because if I don't reflect, if I don't understand where I've been, then how can I know where I'm going? Right? I have to know who I am. And in the Nine of Wands, it's really what you're figuring out. Nine of Swords, really an earthly based form of fear. It is nothing to do with your spirituality. For some of you, it's meant to help you overcome. Because when you overcome the Nine of Swords, there is a real sense of proudness. Oh, that Ace of Wands underneath that. I think what I'm trying to say is each one of these nines is helping you to grow in one way or another. And it feels like, first of all, I don't feel like the Knight of Cups will come in. How do we say this? No, I feel like it'll come in, but what I do with it really depends because if I'm in the Nine of Swords, because remember, this Ace of Pentacles, I'm either going to nurture it and watch it grow and blossom, or I'm just going to let it dry up and die. In the Nine of Swords, I might just do that. But in the Nine of Cups, I'm going to see this blessing for what it is. I'm going to feel this energy. Again, in the Nine of Cups, I feel you very open. And it even says fulfillment of wishes. Well, it's connected again to your intuition. Which, by the way, 9 plus 2 is 11. Now we have 1111. Make a wish. Okay. It's almost like this mother figure is saying, you are strong enough. You can overcome these life issues. And, if you're missing me, so that would mean for some of you that you do know, it probably is your mom or your father or grandmother or grandfather, someone that you do know in this lifetime. Um, because I feel like they're paying attention to your growth. And I feel like the Knight of Cups shows once you have this realization about yourself, that I am so much stronger than I thought I was. I am my mother's child. I am my father's child. Hmm. Six of Cups. Wow. Six of Cups often speaks about someone that you already know. But this is coming from a past lifetime. This really is treasured memories. What's mirroring it? The reversal of the tower. So it feels like nothing can really get in the way of this, except for me, if I'm in the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is a lot of worry about things that I cannot control anyway. So Divine would say, hand that over to me. Why worry about the things you can't control? All that does is make your life feel harder. I also feel it mirroring the reversal of the tower. Just feels like there's nothing to fear here. Quite the opposite. I mean, when it says rejoice and celebration, that's exactly what I feel like you're going to do. So I feel like this is moving a past love into our present life. But it could be the Emperor and the Empress reincarnated into this life. The Tower. But it's over food and hunger. It's also mirroring that Nine of Wands. So these towers, also important to reflect on. It's interesting because I feel like someone could have started life with not much, but that was like their motivating force. It's almost like you're remembering a piece of your last life, and I don't want to repeat that. So, reflecting upon these towers, and by the way, this tower is made of gold. So it can be like the separation of the emperor and the empress in the previous life. But again, this tower is made of gold. To me, that just means it can withstand. Oh, I don't know when this came out. The Eight of Pentacles, right over Orphan now. So exactly what I felt. Doing something for a living. The Eight of Pentacles is the willingness to go into something as the apprentice, though I do feel like you're being guided. But knowing that if you really do focus on it, one day you will be the master teacher. Well, I love that connected to scribe or writer, especially because I do feel someone writing a book or journaling that may turn into a book or may turn into a podcast. I feel like you're going to use it, and I feel like this is saying also to use the wisdom of your past lives in this lifetime. Got the Ace of Pentacles right down here. I could see some of you, again, like working for the man 9 to 5, but then when you come home at night, I feel like then you're doing something more on a spiritual level. Whether you do like tarot, maybe you do Reiki, um, it feels like something that has to do with healing. Yet I also feel it's interesting because I feel in this lifetime, some of you may have a life path 8, and it is about building up, your security. But I feel it was important for me to build up the security because, again, you felt that lack from a last lifetime. I feel like for some of you, I'm giving you that idea right now about writing. All right, let's keep going. Remember, 8s are also about a new beginning. This Ace of Pentacles seems to want to help you create, something that's dear to you. And it does feel tied back again to your lessons, but more about the things that you've overcome than anything. The Chariot. First of all, card of Cancer. I don't think I've given any signs today. The Chariot under the Knight of Cups, that's kind of beautiful because the Chariot represents unlimited potential. It's interesting that we have male and female on the bottom of past lives because in the Chariot, I feel like what really moves that Chariot is the balance of the feminine and the masculine within us, the light and the dark, and all are important. It's just learning to balance them because I feel like the Chariot comes when I myself feel balanced. Otherwise, it's hard for this Chariot to reach its ultimate potential, which really is like there is no limit to it. I feel like someone is ushering in a very special love. Part of me feels like it is a reincarnation of the Empress and the Emperor. Yet at the same time, I also feel this mother figure who wants to help you as it relates to love. Well, in all areas of your life. But I feel like that's something you may have been asking for. So I feel like first thing your spirit guides have to deal with is the Nine of Swords and move you into that Nine of Wands. All right. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Four of Cups again. Moving into the current lifetime, we have the Hierophant. And then we have the Six of Swords coming over the Four of Cups. I like that. All right, so let's go back. All right, so again, we have this beautiful love coming in through the Knight of Cups. We know this is someone who should really bring joy to our hearts and us them. It's funny because some of you, this person could be tied to like the military, the army, Now, I don't feel like that's for everyone, but I do feel like I had to say that. So it must be for someone. Now, right under that Six of Cups is the Five of Cups. And in the Five of Cups, it's definitely missing someone. But you really aren't meant to stay in that energy because the danger of staying in that energy is it can turn into woe is me. And it is a five, so it's asking you for change. By the way, another 11. And what's behind this person are two cups. I feel like some of you have a fear of love, but you probably haven't loved like this before. And then look at this. Here is that cup that this Four of Cups wasn't seeing, but now here it is. I feel like this is even like a love of what you can do in the world. So, if you've been looking for changes in that area, I feel like you're being guided there also. But again, it feels tied back to your spirituality, to your psychic abilities, definitely to your intuition. And this feels like just the way it's reading, like this love of the past life, it's coming into this lifetime. And then awareness is right there. And to me, that I feel like it's more about the feeling of it before it even arrives. And we're not just looking at any love. We're definitely looking for twin flames or soulmates. And we have that. We have both. So, anyways, I feel like this cup that is asking you to use your spiritual discernment, but again, it's coming over pretty psychic energy. So, intuitively, you should feel it. And then we move into the Hierophant, which is also a number five. But this is about your belief system. Maybe you don't believe in past lives. Maybe this reading changes your mind. But I also want to say the Hierophant to me represents whatever's coming towards me is coming towards me of the light. It feels like a blessing, but a well earned blessing. And I feel like one of the main reasons is because you are now taking like some course of action to move you forward. And I say that also with the Six of Swords over that Four of Cups. So, Six of Swords is the energy of moving on. What am I moving on from? I'm moving on from, well, maybe just the waiting and because I feel like there is the fear of giving myself completely to someone. And you may not understand where that fear comes from, but I feel like it comes from your past life and what you have lost. But we can look at this in a different way also. The emperor and the empress had a very good life together. There was a lot of love. There was abundance. There was admiration for each other. And for some of you, you may remember this like on a soul level, and it kind of feels like, in a way, I'm afraid to give my heart because I haven't found that ultimate fulfillment. Well, I feel like it's on its way. It's on its way. But I do feel like part of this is also you, you know, having those realizations. Okay, if I just shut my heart down, and if I did, why? Well, I'm sure it's past experiences, right? But again, the tower being in reverse, it's literally telling you There's no reason to worry about this. But I do have to understand the toxicity that I'm moving on from. Sometimes it's literally our own thoughts. Now, it could even be because of people, but still, I feel like our thoughts got kind of wrapped around it. The fear to move forward, the fear of knowing, is what's coming worth it? Well, I would say absolutely yes. And in a way, it's like I see you like evolving through this reading. Not in a way. I do see you evolving. Or let's at least say you have the ability. Because let's remember, the Knight of Cups is unexpected, which as most love is. But the way it's being directed toward you, wow, it is of the light. The star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. And by the way, this person's completely naked. So to me, that means they know who they are, right? No need to hide, no mask. In the star, you really are working hand in hand with divine to bring these dreams into your reality. I love that it's coming also over the magician. So your ability to manifest. And then the nine of pentacles. So interestingly, we have the eight of pentacles that in this lifetime moves into the nine of pentacles. Wow. Nine of pentacles. It first of all, it talks about successful self-employment. And you're using your intuition. So whatever you're creating in the nine of pentacles, it is the ability to create true abundance for yourself. Another thing I love about the nine of pentacles is, it's an independent energy. I feel independent. I can stand on my own 2 feet. And I have a feeling that was important to a lot of you. But I feel like, again, I can go back and feel the energy of the girl who definitely was suffering from the lack of, but found her way. The Nine of Cups is, or the Nine of Swords, or the Nine of Pentacles is also marrying the Hierophant. So, again, spiritual work, light of the, or work of the light. Some of you are light workers. And by the way, I feel like if you're a light worker, then I feel like as light workers, as healers, we haven't had the easiest life. We've had to go through probably a few tower moments, but it is our experiences and really what we've overcome that helps us to help others. Again, it's that energy of doctor, heal thyself, and then you can help heal others. Definitely feel like this beautiful spirit guide putting, almost like allowing you to feel this energy. And again, some of you may be having dreams, like lucid dreams. You may be connecting to this person in that way. But this is about what's coming in now. And I also want to say, I wouldn't be surprised if for some of you, what you do in the world, especially if you're helping others, that was an important component of this path in this lifetime. And I feel like sometimes love, great love, is put on hold because otherwise, would you do what you're doing? You know what I mean? But then I feel once you feel, let's just say, strong on your own 2 feet, then it just feels like the right time. There's that 3 of Cups again. Now it's right over the Ace of Pentacles. So it's over it, and it's also right next to it. I mean, this ace is meant to be celebrated. I also want to say that we have the Nine of Pentacles and then the Ace of Pentacles. That could certainly talk about us moving into the Ten of Pentacles. We'll see. We have the Knight of Swords. Communication. Some type of communication coming towards you. It's coming over the 3 of Cups, so it's good news. It's mirroring the Knight of Cups. So it probably has love somewhere in it. We have the Strength card over the reversal of the Tower. The King of Pentacles. Beautiful Knight of Pentacles, your guardian angel. And then Justice. So, this is interesting because let's start with the Strength card first. This is, again, that ability to look within. This is about an inner journey. You know, sometimes it could talk about, again, I feel like some of these phobias where I do feel like one is love, but this is looking within to understand the situations, at least in this lifetime. But it's a reminder also that there is nothing you cannot overcome. And I feel like that's why the Tower is in reverse over this, you know, with the Strength card over it. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles promise is I bring you a pentacle in. And this pentacle is truly meant to enhance your life. I come at the right time, not before, not after. And there's a reason. It's because this guardian angel wants you to be able to take this pentacle and love it and nurture it and truly watch it grow. Knight of Pentacles, I don't feel like is a one-time blessing, so to speak. It's really about trusting your guidance, and then you'll notice your blessings. It does have the Justice card right after it. So it could certainly talk about certain ties, certain things that you may need to cut ties with to really bring you into balance, to bring your life into balance. Justice is about making you whole again. And because it's following the Knight of Pentacles, that's really what I'm feeling. It's really about making you feel whole. And I feel like if there's any ties that need to be cut, it feels like it goes back into our thought system more than anything. Of course, if you're with someone where you just know you're not happy, you know it doesn't have potential. Yes, part of that may be knowing that and then taking human action. That's what the Ace of Wands is, right? But it's inspired. inspired action. We do have the King of Pentacles mirroring, well, kind of mirroring the Hierophant. Um, and again, I know I didn't really give signs, but the King of Pentacles could certainly stand for Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. We do have Taurus over here. But even coming over the Nine of Pentacles, which is a Virgo card, could certainly stand for Virgo. Though I kind of hate to put signs because I feel like because this is soulmate or twin flame energy, you know, I don't know that like because I feel like we're a little bit of everything. But so let me tell you what the King of Pentacles means to me, taking the sign away from it. I feel like it does stand for someone who is loyal. Now, if he was in reverse, maybe not, but he's not. This definitely feels like someone who has stability. Could even be someone who, because remember, we saw the Emperor and the Empress, and the Emperor was really allowing the Empress to take that front seat, and he was admiring her at the same time. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find in this lifetime that, what you do in the world is similar. Doesn't have to mean exact. Um, but I don't feel like this is someone who comes in who like has their hands out like gimme, gimme, gimme. Quite the opposite. I feel like I'd be too proud to do that. Let's look right at this king. Seven of Pentacles. Well, my friends, this is what I call your tree of life. I feel like these pentacles on this tree are your soul seeds of intention. Some of them predestined, some of them maybe off, it reminds me of the saying, if I plant no seeds, I'll have no harvest. But these are seeds that were planted. And this is about a seed, or maybe more than one, coming to fruition. I feel like in the Seven of Pentacles, its first message is patience. But I feel like it's because, like, don't, mm, I feel this sense of your ability, whether you're using it yet or not, and this sense of you finding this inner harmony feels important. Feels like that was important first. Like, I feel like that was also one of these seeds, you know, especially if you're a healer in any way, because this is the year where a lot of healers are going to hear that call of action. Doesn't mean you have to heal the world. You might just be healing one person, or again, doctor, heal thyself. So sometimes that's what the patience is about. But everything feels like this is about now these seeds coming to fruition. And I'm saying seeds, just like the Nine of Cups says, fulfillment of wishes. I definitely feel one is love. How could it not be? But I also feel the other is your money, your stability, and you creating that for yourself. And that's why I feel like if you've been alone, even if you've been in a relationship but feel alone, I feel like there really isn't any wasted time. Maybe for a moment, but even like in the Four of Cups, I may have reflected upon the feelings, right? The sadness, the loss, and it may have piqued my interest. I mean, that's what piqued my interest into my spirituality. It's when I lost my brother. and he was in the hospital. Um, and we had just taken him off life support. And I was sitting there by his bed, and I literally saw two spirits come in the room, and it was all slow motion, like I was meant to see it. And they came right over to my brother's bed, and I saw my brother's soul rise, or spirit rise. And then, boom, they were gone. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And it sent me on a completely different path, set me into my spirituality, learning about it. And I couldn't get enough. I couldn't get enough. So that's why I say sometimes our interest are piqued or something happens that then sets us on a different course. And some of it may have come from that feeling of loss. But then if I can understand it and turn around, maybe even just to help others, well, that feels like you're fulfilling the soul's intention. But now I feel like we're talking about love, but not any old love. That's the thing. That's why I say over and over in readings, like, we really have to think about our own energy. It's all about energy. And there are going to be times in our life where maybe we're just not interested in love. And I feel that because I feel like what you do is just as important as this love. Equally. I feel equally. But both meant to happen. So again, if your interest has been piqued lately, follow that. I mean, I feel like the day will come, you'll be like, wow, look at me. I'm on a completely different path than I once was. All right, let's go ahead and bring out the romance angels since we do have spiritual union. It's interesting. It could have said soulmates, which is normally what the card says. All right, I didn't like that shuffle. Um, but it doesn't. It says spiritual union. And I say that because, again, it was the twin flame reading that um, I just knew I had to do this reading. I just knew it. I felt it. I feel like it was my spirit guides. All right. Whoa. All right. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Interesting, because the first thing I felt is like being mad because my parents left me. And I feel like that ties back here. Now, that could also move into a current life. We have trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Faith is right here. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others, especially if you're in the Nine of Swords. Sometimes you do need to hear, well, in a way, I feel like in the Nine of Swords, I don't know how open I am to hearing what other people think, but I feel like someone is going to help you. Hopefully, it's this reading to realize, again, that Nine of Swords is unnecessary worry. It's things you cannot control. That's why trust is really important, also, right? What I cannot control, I'm going to hand over. And then we have love yourself first. I get it. Your self respect makes you more romantically attractive. Oops, wrong deck. And I'm just going to take a couple more, moving us. I feel like they're talking about past life and this life. Um, free yourself, and the rest will follow. It's time to take back control of your life. That's what you're doing in the Six of Swords. You're taking back control of your life. Six of Swords can be temporarily difficult energy, but it's really only difficult energy for those who aren't real comfortable with change. Like if you have a five life path, you learn to roll with the changes because you probably had a lot of changes. Um, but anyways, free yourself. I feel like it's really freeing your thoughts. But for some of you, it can be also, you know, understanding. And let's not forget, Universal Year 9 is that final push to let go of what just isn't serving you, what is not going to help you evolve, into the type of life that you may see for yourself in your mind's eye. It feels like human action has to take place. It's like free yourself. This unicorn is sitting in the middle of this fence, but this unicorn could literally stand up and jump right over the fence. But I feel like the reason why he's not is he's waiting for his guardian angel to give him the go ahead, right? He's waiting for this ace. We have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. I feel like you already have, though, to be honest. But for some of you, maybe you just freed yourself, and maybe you do need to spend some time alone. Like, don't. I know it's hard for some to be alone, but I feel like, well, I feel like that's when you really start to believe in your abilities. I feel like you're someone who can read energy, but maybe have a hard time reading your own, so to speak. I also love this image because you see this woman. I mean, Mother Mary brought out marriage, right? This person has a wedding dress on, and I feel like she's talking to her father, but I feel like her father's in spirit. She's getting spiritual guidance, chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. That's what the Fool does. As you heal and release the past. And we even tie back here healing family issues. But I feel like I know why. I feel it's because, in a way, it's like my sadness turned to madness. Like, how could you leave me? Type of energy. But I feel like they left this world. And it does feel like then I had to learn how to make it on my own at such a young age. But I do feel you did. I mean, it depends. I feel like some of you are the emperor and the empress, and some of you you're the child of the emperor and the empress. But either way, it's like the love is being guided to you. Anyway, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. All right. Anything else want to come out? Come out now. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. What is it you want? How do you want it to look, feel? Are you ready for it? Are you able to give what it is you want? Now, I have a feeling all of a sudden as I said that, I have a feeling I meet this person. And even though I feel like I do want it, I do feel like fear pops back up again. I feel like this is one of the reasons why it's really important for us to understand why we need to clear energy, why we need to understand it, like past experiences and what they have taught me, even this previous life where, you know, I do feel like someone, it's funny because I feel like because I lost my parents who really were they were my guiding light, but I also saw their love. So I know what real love looks like. And in this lifetime, you may not have come across that yet, but this is leading you to that. I feel like the fool is to use anywhere you see fit. This is about allowing yourself to have these new beginnings. And what's so beautiful about the foal? I mean, number one, I love that the foal is coming over the foal's first two mentors, the magician and the high priestess. That should take some of the fear away. But I feel like the foal is light energy, like light as a feather. Doesn't mean everything is going perfect, but I'm starting to see and feel ways out. I'm starting to understand that some things are just meant to come to an end, but that means other things are meant to begin. So it's like the more you know that, trust that, the more I feel like it's easier for you to, let's just say, give something a chance. This is not just about love. This is about the guidance that you're receiving, always. This is about the things that may have followed you from one life to another. Doesn't always have to mean in a negative way. It just, your heart might be like, I remember what love felt like true love. And maybe haven't found that yet in this lifetime, or because I feel like the Six of Cups is talking about a previous life love. And I do feel like that's what's coming into this lifetime. Now, some of you could have already met this person in this lifetime. But here's the thing, in the Six of Cups, there's no anger. It's not someone that I had like major fights with. This is someone that, it reminds me of like Sam and I's story. We met as teenagers and then we broke up and I lived my life, he lived his, totally different places. I got married, he got married. But I understand that feeling of not feeling completely fulfilled. Now that we're in union, I feel that fulfillment. Now, I'm 64. It didn't happen till I was 59, I believe. 58, 59, in that area. It happened in 2000. No, in 2000 when I moved here. Not 2000, 2020. But anyway, What I was going to say is throughout my lifetime, there were times that, when I was going through something difficult, especially a relationship, where I would think about Sam. And I would just sit there and like fantasize in a way of like, what would have been like if it was him and I, that created this life together. But now I do understand that, there were certain, just the way that my life is turning out. I feel like it's turning out the way it was meant to turn out. Like I feel like every person had his purpose. Some were very, very difficult, some not so much, but it is learning about being true to oneself. You know, let's say that in the Four of Cups, there is discontentment and boredom. So if I'm connected to someone else in that energy, am I happy? I don't feel it. So then what do I do? Nobody would tell you, like, I can't tell you that you should leave it. That has to come from you. But what I feel the most is one of the most important energies is you finding that inner harmony and you trusting within yourself and even what you're doing in the world, like what you're creating, that also being important. But so is love. So all of it meant to be. And remember, when we're born into a new lifetime, we are born with amnesia. But because I definitely feel that you can feel this energy, but maybe you have to be really open to it. I don't think it stops anything from coming your way. It's just what will you do with it when it comes your way. All right, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there. Again, your guardian angel, that is mirroring that Knight of Cups. I feel like there should be nothing to fear there. But the Fool, it's just about taking a leap of faith, a step forward. Doesn't mean you have to make a commitment. But I feel like this type of energy, it's definitely going to pique your interest. It's going to pique your soul. It's going to pique your heart. And I feel like it'd almost be very hard to deny the feelings that I get with this energy. So I would advise some of you who are on a twin flame journey, if you haven't watched a twin flame reading yet, it's long. I'm just going to tell you right now, but it needed to be long because what I do in a twin flame is I bring both the divine masculine and the divine feminine to current moment energy. And then I connect them. So that takes time, but it shows you both at the same time. Well, it shows you the masculine story, the feminine story, and then how they're truly connected. It was beautiful. Some of it was hard, but I won't even tell you what the outcome was. It's like I don't want to tell you the end of the movie. Um, but I definitely see how it relates back. All right, I'm gonna leave it there so it's not too long. I love you guys. I thank you. I thank you for just allowing me to do these videos. I really trust my intuition. It's something that, I had to work on, but now I trust it 100%. So when I bring you a reading, I definitely feel like I was meant to bring you a reading. Now, I also want you to trust in divine timing. So sometimes a reading can reach you and you'll be like, I don't think that's me. And then something starts to happen in your life and it reminds you of the reading. Go back and listen to it, but listen to it with your spiritual ears. You'll hear it in an elevated way, let's say. All right. So let that be. I love you guys. So the next video I'm going to do is that giveaway video. Um, Within the next couple days, we'll do that. And again, I think I'm just going to do 5 cards across, middle card down, and then have you in the comment section through your intuition guess what card that is. There is no right or wrong. Every comment I'm going to put in a bowl, and then I have a lot to give away. I have tarot cards, jewelry, um, a moon that lights up. I have quite a bit. And these are things that were gifted to me, and I would like to now gift them to you. So that will be the next reading I do. Um, I'm just thinking I gotta have some money to be able to ship these things too. So yeah, next couple days. All right, guys. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.